okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I won't read over every slide, but I will read through some of them because I think there's some important things to chat about here. And then we can, I'm going to show some pictures, and then we'll have like a guided, and then we'll open it up for code channeling. So Living Water Codex, supporting quantum harmonization. So we're still weaving within the frequency of restoration. Last week it was quantum restoration and quantum harmonization. This week, Living Water Codex, supporting our quantum harmonization frequency. So what are the water codexes or codices? I want to call it codexes, but apparently the plural is codices. And hopefully you guys can see that. Let me move this. So basically they're encoded templates or frequencies. They can be physical. They can also be etheric, located within the Earth or the cosmos. I mean, when I started diving into this, like doing some channeling and thinking about it, I was really thinking about much more like of a planetary frequency. But as I very quickly went like as within, so without, right? As below, as above, so below. So they're also cosmic. They are stored in springs, rivers, lakes, really any like living activated water for me personally. Inner Earth came through very strongly as well, just because we had, we spent some time up in Yellowstone. We had a retreat up in Yellowstone, which is very like inner Earth, like living, structured, activated water frequency. There's also like etheric or galactic water temples. I channeled into specifically Syrian and Mintaka, but I'm sure there are other water temples that are out there. And then again, I'm not like the expert on water codices, but we'll get pretty in depth with this. And then of course our body. Our body has water all throughout it. It's located in our plasma all throughout our body. So water codexes supporting our harmonization frequency. So it's real short. I think there's only 8 slides, so it's going to be quick on the slides. So water, to me, is really like that element of emotion. It has the ability to like neutralize trauma within the cells. It has the ability to like restore your cells as well. Maybe if you got something like the jab, or like you have some like, I'm just thinking like, you know, long-term like illnesses within the body. It helps with regulating like our emotional body, our mental body, our physical body. And then that heart-brain coherence. And then water, as we all know, if you've ever been to like a sound bath or received any type of like sound healing, any type of frequency, water can be structured and it can be activated, which helps us through harmonic resonance. This is actually a friend of mine. I met her online, and then I met her in person. She works at the healing center that I'm currently at. She does the most amazing sound healings. Her name is Aya, a very galactic, multidimensional, ancient soul, first waver for sure. So we're talking about cellular rehydration or regeneration through frequency. If you're aware, water at the quantum level, it's very programmable. And then the water codices reinform like our cells, our cellular matrix, all the way down to like the subatomic. The ability to like repattern through distorted or misaligned cellular memories, realigning like the water molecules within the body into like this crystalline structure. We all talk about like the golden, we talk about like crystalline, we talk about like diamond templates, and to me that water frequency that we're talking about through like harmonics or resonance, that's what like comes to mind for me. And then thinking of water, it just reminded me like Tatiana lives on the top of a mountain, and she drinks from a well that's drilled, I don't know what it is, in I know meters, so it's like 800, 900 meters. She drinks from a well that's like, they put it into a glacier, so she's drinking like structured living glacier water. I just remember the water there tasted very yummy. I try to drink water that is, you know, you can program your water, you can say nice things to your water, you can hold your water up and then speak to it. Like we've done that before in a bunch of our containers, like for at least 30 seconds. And this helps the physical body come into greater alignment. It helps your life body enabling upgrades and activations as well. So I kind of like this picture, and most of the pictures are mine, by the way. So you may have seen some last week, but certain water codices we'll talk about today in this container, on this session, specifically like the crystalline core of Gaia, Rainbow Bridge water codices, the Syrian water temples. They carry these light geometries that interact with our DNA, dormant aspects of our, they call it like junk DNA, which none of our junk, if you think about this. If we fractalize down from God Source Creator through the dimensions into this consciousness here, it really is like, it's almost laughable when you talk about like junk DNA. So none of our DNA is like junk. Water has the ability to activate, align your DNA, RNA, and then the plasma in the light body. We've been getting a lot of like plasmic or plasma upgrades. I don't know if you've been experiencing that. I've been seeing a lot of like specifically like golden plasma, light pink plasma, white opalescent plasma. Not only seeing it like in our auras, but also as I'm doing like healings or channeling to people, I can see it all throughout their meridians, in their cellular structures, in their physical body, like in the actual organs of their body, so all throughout. It allows us to, we're talking about harmonization, so harmonizing our nervous system. So right now, we were talking earlier that the nervous system, our mental, emotional body is kind of going through quite a bit right now. And you can use these water codices to help harmonize your nervous system and your meridians within your body. All right, so how water codexes support our harmonization. So bridging Earth and galactic consciousness, it's an interdimensional communicator between Earth and the stars. High frequency water codices serve as living conduits, anchoring cosmic light into all of the grids, Earth grids, dragon lines, song lines, uploading our human frequency, songs, and intentions into the galactic unified field, and then transmitting that into the planetary consciousness. So this right here, this blue star spring is actually very warm, very hot, even though it looks very peaceful. This is in Yellowstone National Park, which is located within the U.S. And we got to see this in person. It's located kind of behind Old Faithful, which we don't like to call our Old Faithful. We just call our Young Faithful, or just Faithful. And it's a very, we were sitting here and we were just kind of like speaking light language, just chatting together. And I started kind of channeling into it, and I saw, so on the other side, so this is very, very blue. This picture does not do it any justice whatsoever. Super, super blue, like cosmic blue. And I started channeling into it, and I went to the other side of what's on the other side of this blue star spring, and it connects to, it's like a portal essentially, and on the other side I saw there was three of us. So it was three of us. We were from JJ's community. We were all at this retreat, and I saw all three of us on the other side. I couldn't tell you what exact planet it was, but I saw it very clearly, as if I'm seeing you on the other side of this camera. And we were in like these really super futuristic, really thin white spacesuits, and just kind of like, there's a little railing there that's wooden, and I was like propped up on the railing, like sitting over there, and I was talking to the two people that were there with me, and I was like, yeah, I was just having this flash because I was like, you know, super tapped in, very, very multidimensional. I looked on the other side, I was like, yeah, this isn't the first time that we've done it. This isn't the first time that we're visiting, you know, these water codices, these ancient sites, and activating them with our light language. Gridding, of course, we're doing like grid work, speaking light codes. We brought sound with us. We had like little shakers. So we were doing all of the things that any one of you on this call and those who are traveling to Egypt are going to be doing along the way. So I just thought it was very interesting, specifically for this one, to kind of talk about like the multidimensionality to the water codices. We were talking earlier, so the law of zero, fluid state alignment. So specifically calling in water codices assists with calling in or entering that 0 point field. Some people can call it the void as well. Neutral, vibrational, still point, from which our harmonization can occur, basically. The world is so busy, there's so much EMF, so many frequencies, we're just getting bombarded by our lives as human beings, right? Which is great. Like, we can't just always sit in, you know, meditation all day. We can't just always sit in our breath work. It's very important that we're able to basically weave within the 0 point, call in, you know, that personal alignment, call in I really enjoy the law of zero as well, and really kind of think about like it says here, still water reflects the pure potential. The movement of water itself creates wave harmonics, which can help our body, also help our auric field. A lot of integration for me personally, and a lot of people that I know, they use water for integration. Water is amazing in so many ways, whether it's like dry sauna, like wet sauna specifically, immersion, your body, immersion. I don't know why I can't say that. I don't know. You know what I mean. Like being in water. So in Egypt, we went to the Red Sea. We were in water. We were diving in water. We swam in water. So integrating in water, bringing through that wave harmonic into kind of like the cellular, the subatomic, really helps with that integration. And even if you're not a water sign, I mean, I'm sure some people are like really, really fire signs, and they're like, water, stay away from me. But personally, for the Water Codices, I found it very, very helpful, anchoring you into so many different ways. So these are some examples of different Water Codices that we'll be talking about today, and we'll be looking at some of the pictures. Sharon also shared some pictures, and I'll bring those up too. And then how they help with the harmonization on the right-hand side. So the crystalline core, crystalline waters, inner earth oceans, or inner earth, the geysers specifically from Yellowstone, DNA, regeneration, grounding you, Rainbow Bridge Water Codex. This is more channeled. So again, take what resonates and leave the rest. But specifically, we've been working with the Rainbow Bridge frequency, weaving with that frequency, many, many different, like very prismatic to me, chakra harmonization, unity field, unity like consciousness, Mintaka and the Syrian water temples, connecting back to that original divine, that organic divine blueprint, and then like that activating that frequency of remembrance that a lot of us have been experiencing within the last like 3 months. Lake Titicaca, I know Aurora was there, right? I think Aurora visited Lake Titicaca specifically, so I just felt called, very super activating. Chalice Well, JJ and friends went to recently, and then the Nile River. Very like, the Nile River to me is like a very feminine, I know it says feminine masculine balance, and try not to really get into like the polarity aspect of things, because we're weaving within unity consciousness, but a very feminine frequency for the now personally, activating that kind of like priestess like connection or remembrance. And then the Amazon River and the cenotes, more like cleansing, more shadow, more like ancestral, karmic healing as well, coming through. And then I think we're almost finished. Yeah, this is the last slide. So in quantum harmonization, water is our sacred ally, dissolves division and returns all things back to resonance. They're not static, they are living, they're structured, they're evolving, intimately tied, returning ourselves back into wholeness. And then as you engage with them, it helps with that harmonization frequency, but once you are able to embody that harmonization or activate that harmonization or even that restoration frequency, you then kind of anchor that template for the rest of us, and I think that's very important. And then this is the Gate of Isis, Philae Island in the Nile River in Egypt, which Natalia was there recently. Some of you on this call, Sharon was there with us when we were experiencing it. Some of you on the playback may have been there. So the day that we went, which was in September, the tide was up, so there wasn't much to see. You couldn't walk. Somebody on our trip actually jumped out of the boat and was swimming around, which we were all like, yay! But I was like, man, that could never be me personally. I wouldn't say never, but it just wasn't something. I was like, I don't know what's in there. I'm sure all of the crocodiles are on the other side of the dam, but I was like, I could just take pictures of this and post it to my friends here, and they can see it. So definitely feeling into that, very activating. The temple was moved just due to the Nile River flooding, and you can still visit, and they will visit it here very soon in November. And then this is just a picture that I made. It's digital, like it's digitized, but also like I like the thought of the Nile River being very, very close to the Sphinx, very, very close to the Great Pyramid, and then of course like the Rainbow Bridge frequency. And then I'll share. Let me read the chat here. and I'll share the pictures. Oh, Sharon channeled some pictures, some codes for us today, so I'll download those. Thank you, Sharon. And then I'll put those in. And then Natalia said she pulled some cards. Thank you. Thank you. I'll pull those up for us to see. So Sharon said, I channeled this today while connecting to Lake Tekapo in New Zealand that we stayed at to integrate before going to Mount Cook, a very special lake, and felt connected to Sirius. Ooh, I love that. I love that so much. I'll share some pictures here, so let's see if I can actually share pictures. Try this, yeah. Oh, movie. Let's try this. Let's see if it's going to play the movie first. The first one is the prismatic geyser. Let's see if it'll play the movie. This is the prismatic, very, this is in Yellowstone. We're getting some like vortex frequency. It's got a bunch of colors. They call it prismatic because it's red, yellow, green, all the way around. It's a hot spring. Those are bacteria mats kind of in the front there. So to me, this is like very inner earth, very like lungs of the earth too. And then let's see what else. I have some pictures too. Share. Okay, here. Okay, let's see. Right. So this is the prismatic, just a still shot. Those, when we were out there, it actually started swirling in like a vortex after a while. We were out there for a while, and I just noticed somebody's like, hey, it's starting to turn into a circle, and then I have a recording of it where it's just like a vortex essentially of that like steam mist. Let's see what's going to come up. The Chinese spring. So just some grid work. We were programming some crystals. That's Lenny's hand, I believe. This is the blue star spring that we were seeing earlier. Very, very blue. The pictures don't do it justice, but super, super blue. This is also Yellowstone. So this is Lenny, another member of JJ's community, and Melissa. This is a river that's essentially right down there by the prismatic. So a lot of, this is another spring, hot spring. Like I said, the pictures don't really do it justice seeing it in person. This is Old Faithful, or Young Faithful. We did a bunch of grid work around there, very inner earth, water codices, super activating. I actually got a little thing of water from Young Faithful on my altar that we collected as well. There's a little spring, so it's very cyclical. So this is like inner earth water, if you can imagine, very structured, living inner earth codices coming up and then erupting super high. There's hundreds of people surrounding this, right? Sitting on benches. And then very close to it are those little springs that I was showing you, like the blue star and the other one. And then there's a river like right behind it. So it literally erupts, goes down probably like a football field or two, and then goes directly into the spring, and it's immediately like recycled into the earth. So it's so activating to be out there. This is another one as well, very like inner earth, bubbling, hot. There is that river that I was showing you. So this is like right before you get to the river. So this is very close to, and this is all in Yellowstone National Park. So these are hot springs that we visited, same trip. To me, hot springs are also water codices. Great for integration. We use hot springs like a lot after trips as well. There's different temperatures, so I don't know what it is in Celsius, but in Fahrenheit, this is ranging from like 100, 102, up to 110 in Fahrenheit. So they're different levels. Some of them I can't even sit in. They're just too hot. This is Shishen, so this is blue lotus flower tea that was made at one of the places that you guys may visit. We visited there. It's a blue lotus farm where they raise them, and we went and we just had like lunch and hung out, and we had ceremony. So when we're thinking about water codices, it's not just like the things like rivers and lakes. To me, this is like living, structured, programmed water. Blue lotus is actually a lily, very ancient flower from Egypt. I'm sure it's from Kemet as well. Kemet is what they called it before it became Egypt. And we just had a ceremony. So if you can look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 in there. And then we shared it amongst us. There was 20 of us. So very, very, it's a great way to not only activate the cells in your body, to join in ceremony together, but to participate and create your own water codices or codex. This is from the Nile River as we were heading out to the gates of Isis. So just different things to kind of look at. Got some different pictures for you guys. Very, very activating. We actually swam the Nile as well in the boat. That's one of the options. I swam the Nile. The place that we swam, the sand was almost like quicksand in a way, and it had gold flecks in it. So I have some Nile River water that I brought back with me, like a 20-ounce water bottle that I keep on my altar. These are more pictures of the gates of Isis. So as you see, Natalia, like it looks different than when you guys are there, right? It's like sometimes I've seen pictures where you can like walk amongst it. This day you could absolutely not. You had to swim, and one person did swim, and we just cheered her on. We were like, yay, please don't drown. So yeah, and if you see, I'll zoom in really quick here. So if you can see, you can like take a look at those like codes and hieroglyphs, right? Imagine like walking through this in the entrance to this very ancient, huge temple where priestesses would be present. You could go there and receive activations. You could go there and worship. There's a temple dedicated to Dendera in the back of the Isis temple as well. I'm really excited for, and no spoilers, Aurora, close your eyes, don't look. Just joking. More like, this is just stuff that was along the river as we were heading there. So this is on the Noon Goddess. This is a blue lotus fountain that they had. And again, another example of a Water Codices Codex here that I wanted to share with you guys. Just give you some ideas, some examples of, you can create your own within your own home, within your own community. There's like, if you look, there's like a couple blue lotus flowers that are in there, and then around the edges, she has like crystals essentially that are being programmed in the sunlight. When we went, the very first day was 105 degrees Fahrenheit, 106. It was so hot. We spent 12 hours in the Temple of Karnak. It was the most intense day of the trip. So this is at the Blue Lotus Sanctuary. You may recognize Crystal Lenny over there with her hair sipping on some blue lotus. And there's like large pools. So you can imagine how many different, and I'll zoom in here, like take a look at those little, so they're closed right now, but imagine, there's so many of these blue lotus flowers in this. And it's just a really, really super activating. This is one of the ponds here. Again, another example of Water Codices, a Water Codex as well, just sharing with you guys. This is a different Water Codex. This is us in the Red Sea. I thought I'd share a couple pictures. This is me and Crystal Lenny diving with our dive instructor. And you may not be able to see it very well, but we're surrounded by fish. We're surrounded, the reef is like right below us. Here's another photo, surrounded by fish. Yeah, not a high quality photo, but, and then here's an example of some more Water Codices, some more of our animal friends that can help activate you, help weave with you as well. You can see there's a bunch of different fish, and then just imagine, just like use your imagination, and we'll get there in just a minute for the guided portion. But imagine doing this on a completely different planet, in a completely different galaxy, right? Connected to people exactly like you're on the call with right now, not just online, but in person, right? So living, not just like imagining, but like actually like living this. So that's when we're talking about like Water Codices, the frequency of like quantum harmonization. while I think it's like great to talk about it, just imagining, and I think that's it, yeah. And I'll share one more, I think I have one more video I can share with you guys. And then we'll move on. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the one where it goes into a vortex. I'll pull that up and then we'll share. Okay, so this is kind of the vortex frequency I was telling you about. Some dragon frequency, if I've ever heard of it.
We should take a picture of the whole group.
Yeah. It's red, yellow, blue, swirling vortex, very inner earth, very like Mama Gaia. Let me read the comments, and we'll swap over here. So interesting about water today. I was called to sit in the jacuzzi. Oh yeah, I forgot. Tatiana has this amazing saltwater jacuzzi, so healing. It's nothing like the frequency of like a Clorox jacuzzi. Completely different. So amazing. And I visited Tatiana for 8 days, so that's why I know. I was like, we stayed in that jacuzzi so much, especially for integration. Drawn to purchase her water light code called Gratitude. Okay, so Blue Star, went to Mount Shasta recently, spent some time in the Blue Star Child Gallery. Purchased Gratitude for the water, which is used to activate the water I drink, as a paper underneath a large glass jug of water. These codes are very detailed and beautiful. I will share a vote of, okay, yeah, definitely. Please drop that into our Telegram. We would love to see that picture. So thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you, everybody, for the comments and the pictures. Where's Sharon's? I had Sharon's photos pulled up, but it didn't. Let me pull them up here. 2, 3. Let me share these because Sharon sent them to me. Sorry, I probably had too many photos pulled up. Let's see here. Okay, I got it. I'll share these and then we'll hop into the guided. And yeah, Sharon, you can unmute and tell us, because I know you wrote it to me on Telegram, but I don't remember exactly where this is at. If you want
This
to.
is St. Nectan's Glen that we went to in the Albion trip. Natalia was there too. It's a really special place.
St. Nectan's Glen, right?
Yeah. A lot of
And
elemental energy.
This is Chalice Well, or close to Chalice Well. Chalice Well. Sorry, I have so many pictures pulled up. And then there was one more. There was 2 more. There's this one. Thank you, everybody, for. There's this one. This is outside of St. Merlin's Cave. And that's the cave, I'm assuming, right? Like down in here is where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the day after JJ had that really special, we all had the ceremony in Merlin's Cave.
Yeah, it looks intense. Like, I know JJ was saying that her and Natalia was like her doula, but like it just looks like there's a lot happening in this cave.
Yeah.
I can imagine too, like, you think about like water. To me, water is like the womb, like the depth of the womb too. So when I think about water, I'm always it always feels like you're being held. Like, I grew up on the water, the beaches in Florida, so I associate like water codex with like the womb too. Creation, very like creative creation frequency as well. Okay, so if you guys want to settle in, we'll do a meditation and then open it up. Share the audio.
I have to hop, but love to all you guys. I'll catch the replay.
Thank you, Tatiana. Yeah, and feel free to settle in here. You can turn your camera off if that's easier for you. We'll just do a guided meditation, probably like 15-ish minutes, and then I'll open it up. We'll open our sacred space together. start by finding a comfortable position around you. You can stay seated, lie down, feel free to close your eyes, lower your gaze, grab your crystals. I got 2 crystals in front of me here. Starting to find our breath together, taking a deep breath. Go in through the nose. Starting to exhale through the mouth and finding some movement. Feeling your breath move through you like waves. Very soft and rhythmic. Very effortless. Inhaling that white light. Starting to activate your central pillar, your central channel. Starting to exhale everything that is not needed in this now moment, releasing our day. We can move into some 4, 7, 8 breaths on your count. Inhaling white radiant light for our 4 count. Holding for 7, squeezing your belly, sucking it in. Pushing that cerebral spinal fluid against your 3rd eye. Exhaling for 8, side buzzing or hum. Releasing any misalignments. And continuing at your own count here. Releasing any stress from your body. Any anxieties. Letting that worry just start to fade away. You can sway gently. Getting those little wiggles in now. Even some cat-cow. You can do some seated cat-cow. I love yoga, so I always do some cat-cow or some cactusing out the arms, pretending like you got a quarter right in between your shoulder blades. And then just squeezing your shoulders back, opening the heart, opening your lungs, putting a big old smile on your face. And again, these are just recommendations. It's your spiritual practice. I make recommendations. You can make decisions. Beginning to sway gently. Letting your body begin to move like water. Letting your breath become really fluid here. Very circular, almost continuous in a way too. And then with each inhale, feel yourself drawing in life force energy, breathing in that light frequency. And then with each exhale, surrendering into your body, surrendering into the arms of Mother Earth, Mama Gaia, anchoring yourself here in the now moment into your physical body. Your breath is very powerful. It can heal you. It can help to calm us. It can activate you. Continuing to breathe, connecting into your body. Dropping your grounding cord into Mama Gaia, down, down, down. Through the core, the crust, the mantle, the mineral kingdom, into her crystalline heart chakra. Into the living waters within, connecting into that space surrounding you. And as we begin to open our sacred space together, feel free now to start calling in your guides, your higher self, or your highest, purest essence, calling in my guides and my highest self. Taking time to invite your helpers, welcoming in all of the galactic children. We always love to weave with the galactic children. They're so fun. Welcoming in your inner child here in an invitation to play together. Feel free to take some time now to invite any additional guides here that you work with, calling them into this space now. Your personal council, galactic council, dragon frequency as well. Feel free to sigh, buzz, hum, speak light language, calibrate and attune yourself. Your light language, your frequency is very powerful. Inner Earth councils, healed indigenous councils as well. May this guided journey and activation be protected by light, anchored in love, free from distortion or any illusion, harmonizing through the crystalline, golden, and diamond templates and above, and weaving through the field of pure organic unity consciousness. Taking some time here, starting to call in your personal intention, bringing your intention forward. Always like the word picture of breathing in your intention, breathing that intention in, activating it with your breath in your heart, and breathing out. And feel free to set more than one intention as well. We are limitless quantum creators. You can place your hands over your heart and state your intention out loud. Whisper your intention, speak light language through your intention, sing your intention. I'll give you a few moments now. Now that you're fully settled in to your body, bringing your awareness back into center, into your heart center, finding your breath. Slowly allowing the scene around you to shift gently with ease and flow and grace. Picture yourself standing before a warm, radiant, crystalline cave, deep within Earth's heart, within Mama Gaia's heart. Inside, liquid diamond light flows like molten crystal. You can imagine these as the crystalline core waters of Gaia. You are safe. Our guides have come with us as well here. Stepping forward now and place your hands into the flow of these crystalline waters. Feeling the pulse of Mama Gaia, ancient, eternal, serene. This water remembers every heartbeat of creation. And as it moves through you, and if it feels most aligned, notice as this crystalline water begins to work within your cells, awakening your crystalline DNA, balancing your inner waters with the crystalline heartbeat of Mama Gaia. Now beginning to shift from Gaia's core, feel yourself start to be guided deeper. Following glowing underground rivers that spiral like liquid starlight. you move through the inner earth temples with echoes of Lemuria. Looking around, you may begin to notice as crystalline beings step forward to greeting you. Translucent, very serene. Their presence is like a cool spring mist or rain. They step forward and hand you something shaped like a crystal. Feel free to turn it over in your hand, feeling the texture, looking at the colors. This contains the essence of pure earth memory. Almost like a thumb drive in a way. Feel free to tuck this gift away, keeping it safe. As you begin to lift, accelerating upwards now, rising through tunnels of light until you break through into the surface. And you arrive at the surface opening of Yellowstone National Park, filled with geysers and hot springs, the living lungs of the planet, where the fire of inner earth meets the element of living structured water. Starting to look around, you can see as the steam rises, each geyser or hot spring a sacred exhale of Gaia. Standing within this mist and breathe it in here. This is where fire and living water unite. Within the frequency of transformation and purification, let this steam cleanse your aura. Feel it balancing your inner elements. Begin to feel your own body as a geyser, a conduit for release, renewal, and rebirth. And we're going to be going on a journey to different water codices now, just like a drop joining back towards a greater flow, sending your awareness out and up to the east, merging with the great Mississippi River. This is the largest river in the United States. They call it the spinal column of North America. Feel yourself start to drifting downstream, imagining that you're floating within the consciousness of this living structured water. Imagining passing forests, small towns or cities, ancient sites, earth and song lines along the way. This river holds the heartbeat of the land, a continuous current of renewal and the frequency of remembrance, carrying away any and all stagnation, any heaviness, and leaving you weightless, feeling renewed. Remembering to breathe here as well. The current carries you far south towards Mexico and into the warm jungle lands of the Yucatan Peninsula, down through the caverns and into the ancient cenotes, sacred wombs of water and stone. Here, the Maya water spirits dwell. They whisper through the rippling light. The water remembers, it cleanses, it restores us. You can imagine submerging down into the cenote's cool depths, letting these waters clear out any ancestral patterns, unlocking the Lemurian and Atlantean water memory stored within your ancient DNA. Emerging now into the Amazon River, the emerald serpents of the earth, feeling it winding through the dense green, a vast living library. Each droplet holds the breath of countless species, the hum of Mother Nature and evolution itself, feeling into the rhythm and the heartbeat of the forest, weaving with the pulse of the planet, one with the frequency of interconnectedness. A reminder that every being drinks from the same activated water source. Now from the Amazon River, traveling south until you reach the sacred Lake Titicaca, cradled high in the Andes, located between Peru and Bolivia. This lake is an ancient portal, a mirror between the sun and the earth, between the divine masculine and feminine, looking out as golden and silver rays ripple out across the surface of this lake. Entering the water and feeling your inner polarity moving into balance, masculine and feminine merging into radiant equilibrium. Feeling into that frequency of the living union within. Now with your awareness, traveling out and across the Atlantic to Glastonbury, England, approaching the Chalice Wells, its waters rich in iron, red and maroon as the earth's blood. Partaking of the waters of the heart, these waters open compassion and devotion and the remembrance of unity. These are the Christic and Magdalene waters. They hold within the codes of divine service and eternal love. From Chalice Well, with your awareness now looking far into the east, as far as you can see, sending your awareness out, scanning through a vast open desert. And within this vast, expansive desert, watching as a river expanse of living water begins to appear. The Nile River emerges, surrounding by amazing lushness, expansive green all along its riverbanks and extending out. You have made it to Egypt, once known in Atlantis as ancient Kemet. This river is ancient, royal, and wise. The Nile River remembers the magic of Isis and Osiris and Horus as well, holding the temples of Indera, and Luxor, and so many more upon it. It was there before the Great Pyramids arose from nothingness into the desert. Here, long before the Sphinx claimed its rightful place in front of these ancient and powerful tombs and temples, with the pyramids rising out of the desert, surrounding it. Beginning to imagine yourself now as if you're floating upon the Nile River in a powerful light ship. This powerful light ship is yours. Starting to feel as golden hieroglyphic codes begin to swirl upwards from within the waters of the Nile River. Watching as they transform into sacred geometry. And if it feels most aligned, merging and activating those into your dragon light body. These may help to restore your connection to ancient priest and priestess lineages through the waters of sacred initiation and the frequency of remembrance. Continuing to breathe here from your light ship on the Nile. I want you to start by looking upward, taking a moment to breathe deeply here. Imagine yourself sailing on your powerful light ship under a full moon, filled with millions of stars, as far as your eye can see, as far as you can perceive. And among those stars, you start to see a radiant rainbow bridge arcing across the sky. Within this rainbow bridge is the interdimensional waters of light. Honing the frequencies of the full spectrum human template. With your awareness, you begin moving upwards and slowing to ascend, crossing onto the rainbow bridge. Each color a vibration, each frequency a hue or a tone, until you merge into the Rainbow Bridge Water Codex. Here, within this Rainbow Bridge Water Codex, all waters of Earth are one. All of the rivers, oceans, all of the hearts are unified. Feeling yourself as the bridge, a conduit between Gaia and the stars and the cosmos. You now emerge and cross into the galactic threshold. Shifting into your awareness upwards and out now. Across the galaxies and arriving in the Syrian water temples. Crystalline domes suspended in sapphire light. Feeling into whatever frequency is coming through for you. The galactic dolphins and the galactic whales begin to click and singing their songs, greeting you here. They're welcoming you back once again. These are your Syrian kin, soul friends, soul family. They sing in tones and harmonics that ripple through your soul. The waters here shimmer with liquid starlight, the blue ray of divine harmony. Taking your time here, allowing yourself to submerge into these celestial currents, into the water, feeling yourself slowly dissolve into pure sound, pure light, pure divine flow. Beginning to breathe once again, slowly, deeply, fully immersed. Feel these waters surrounding you, holding you, and then slowly receding as their wisdom settles into your body. Noticing that your cells shimmer with crystalline light. Feeling into your heart, it is calm. Your heart is open and clear. I want you to take some time here now in the vastness of this space to offer some gratitude, sending gratitude to Gaia, to the rivers, and to the lakes, to our guides and to our guardians, to your councils, personal, planetary, galactic. Deep gratitude to the galactic dolphins and the galactic whales, the waters of divine creation. Sending love to all of the galactic children, your inner child. Feel free to offer gratitude to others in your life who mean the most to you. I'm going to give you a few minutes here just to sit and be fully present. So I'll be quiet for a few minutes. Taking a few deep breaths here. Inhaling the frequency of that crystalline Water Codex light. And exhaling any stress, any perceived anxiety, Any worries on the way out? Releasing something. Gently allowing all of these codes anchoring into your physical body, weaving into your mental body, gritting into your emotional body here. And then starting to allow the scene around you to shift here back towards your body, where you are anchored in the now moment. Slowly finding your way back, 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 back. Across the Rainbow Bridge, down into that amazing light ship, and sending your awareness back to where you are in the now moment. Breathing into the room and the space around you. Slowly feeling your way into your body, into the earth beneath you. You're still connected in that grounding cord to Mama Gaia. You're safe, you are held, you are activated. Listening to your heartbeat, returning your breath back into your heart center, knowing that you're fully anchored and you are fully safe. You are witnessed here with us. You are seen. You are loved. Know that you now carry that codex within you. That living, activated water codex, codices. You have access to that at any time. Just set your intention. Your intention is powerful. Call it into the now moment. Remembering that crystal that you received earlier when we were in the inner earth temples. If you wish to return back to any of these places, you can use that crystal that was gifted to you. You tucked it away in a safe space. Feel free to pull it out. Setting your intention or listening to this. Returning back to any of those water codexes, temples, rivers, inner earth, crystalline waters of Gaia. But finding your way back now, and when it feels most comfortable, starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And returning back. Feel free to take your time. I would absolutely love to hear about some of the things that you were seeing, feeling, knowing, remembering, capital R, remembering. I was just feeling into kind of like the frequency of those of us who are in this space and those of us who are weaving and gritting together, and it's very potent, very powerful, very like well grounded. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, really, really, really grounded. So yeah, I
Thank
would
you
love to
so
hear.
much, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I feel we all felt it was like a frequency crystalline water spa. Like you took us on a journey. I honestly feel like I'm coming out of the spa treatment. I need the tea and just to continue to lay down. It was so, so beautiful and so therapeutical almost. I had a lot of actually messages coming through, so I'll just briefly share that the water we know already it's a consciousness and it's almost like that mirror that reflects back and collects information. And I don't know if you did a session about Three Eye Atlas separately and kind of so this is what's interesting. I've been connecting to that frequency, you can say, the channeling so strongly the last week, and the information that I'm receiving, I don't know if you heard, it's releasing water at a very enormous capacity, like 88 pounds per second. And they've never seen that happening, like the scientists and whoever's observing never seen that happening before. And what's interesting, it's coming close to the sun. It will be at the closest point next week when we will be traveling to Egypt, which I find fascinating. And so yes, so something about that is very feels very important how it exchanges information. It almost like it arrived with that ice covered archive, and now it's releasing that knowledge, releasing that information from other, you can say, system, other consciousness, and it arrived, and it's almost like, let's exchange. This is what we have received, this is what we experienced, and like, what are you receiving? And you showing the images of vapor, of like Gaia releasing that this is what we have here, this is what we are experiencing. It's almost like that exchange is happening right now, which I almost feel in a cellular level. And we all like compose the water 70%, so it's almost like we're changing, we're receiving those different information patterns. So that's been like in my awareness throughout the spa experience. And interesting, the connection of water and our electromagnetic field, that kind of like the structure, how it changes as our fields are changing. And it's almost like that correspondence, that coherence that is happening within that you might not be aware, but I'm sure if we study like the waters inside us and the crystallization and that's happening right now, we will notice the change, almost like it can be measured. That's what I'm receiving. And yes, so this is briefly like my consciousness went Three Eye Atlas, let's go there. And then when you started the Syrian spa too, was very, very beautiful, very felt almost like we've been there before, and it just like we got a pass with our consciousness to travel there and experience it again. So that was very, very beautiful too. So thank you. For now, I'm complete, but I might share later.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow, thank you so much, Natalia. That's really activating for what you shared about three eye and coming in like almost like this yeah, like a very like ancient frequency, and then like as it goes to the sun, like the tail gets longer, but it's not what scientists like. It's nothing like what they're expecting at all. Like they can't. They're really like kind of baffled by it. So
And
and
it
then the
coming is that like frozen ice structures that are not from here, which I find so fascinating. And it's almost that it's like an archive that we're like, okay, release, release, keep like putting like droplets of water into the system, so we eventually will receive it collecting through the sun, I guess through the sun dust, wind, you can say that sun will absorb it, and then through the sun rays, through the sun consciousness, we will receive it in our solar bodies. That's how I see it. Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. I was sharing with Sharon too. We've been kind of chatting about three eye, sort of off and on through messages, and there's so many. There's just such a wide array of channelings that have come through. But I'd love to hear what else came through. John V, did you have anything?
Yeah, And well, just about that, it's so amazing. Thank you, Faith. It was amazing. Wow, I mean, you just brought up us on a beautiful journey. Thank you so much. It was so fluid. Thank you. Fluid is the word of the day. And you're talking about the sunlight, you're talking about the water, and I just see the rainbow bridge that is fully connecting to all of that. I'm like, oh, of course, it's all connected. So those ray of lights, and I love also that Natalia, you have that ray of light on your shoulder. I don't know that beautiful light, and the light behind you is just like um just weaving in such a beautiful way. And also, I don't know if you on the news here in Quebec, we were having low of water in St. Lawrence River, so they open up the gates, or the, I don't know how you call that, but to open and bring a mega amount of water for a little period of time. And you were talking about that, Natalia, those big shift of water, and it was like tons and thousands of tons of water at the second, that from the Ontario Lake all through the ocean, that was for level it up the level of the water all through the St. Lawrence River. So it was very potent for a short period of time. It happened, I think, yesterday. So yeah, I think it's very accurate to have all those movement of fluid. And of course, it's all happening also as within, so without. And of course, it's all connected. So thank you, thank you. I'm complete. Oh,
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the kind of like guided meditation, because as I was like feeling into it, like doing the slides, and I was like, oh, I like the pictures of the slides, and like learning about the Water Codex, and kind of weaving into that frequency. But then it was like, okay, like, you know, it's much more activating for me, like as you travel and as you guys are getting ready to, and we're all doing this, right? It just happens to be a group is going to Egypt, coming up here very, very soon. We get activated, right? All of these different places activate this frequency of remembrance in our body, and then we start to like remember that. And that's where really I think the frequency of like quantum restoration helps. Quantum harmonization has been so key for me personally with my own integration after coming back from Egypt. And then being on the Nile River is like so ancient, so magical. You know, nothing really does it justice. You can like look at pictures, you can watch the movies, you can hear people talk about it, but when you're on the Nile, like the Nile holds you. And I think about this night so often. When we sailed on the Nile, it was a full moon for most of the time that we were on the Nile, the 6 nights, 7 days. And we were just like staying up and like going to these temples, and then I would stay up late talking to people, and then we were like healing people because people were like purging and they were just like not having a great time. So me and Crystal Lenny stayed up late, and we were kind of doing like Reiki healing and supportive to them, and we're laid out on the deck of this ship. You're looking up, millions of stars, you see the full moon, you're being held by the Nile. That frequency is just like pulsing through every cell in your body, and it's just so activating. So just to even give you like a glimpse of it in a guided meditation, you know, I'm so happy to be able to like offer that to you, and even those who are weaving with us on the playback as well. Or I'm sure many of you are going to be going there soon. So thank you, Sister Natalia, for hosting everybody and going there, and Sister Maggie too, as
I
well.
just had flashbacks when you were describing laying on like looking at the sky. I know if Mo offered you can actually sleep there and you can stay the whole night and just like sleep on the top of the ship and just look at the sky and connect to the Nile. And something you mentioned too, that it is like a consciousness, like a womb space. It's a portal. We all go through that portal, through that uh, mother's water's fluidity that is so powerful to remember and activate that remembrance that we all came through that portal, all shared the same portal. And it's almost like creates that unity awareness that we all came through that. So thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Did anybody else want to share what came through for them? I would love to hear like what you saw or felt or remembered.
Yeah, definitely. So it's very interesting. I think it's also related to earlier when I went to watching Gigi's live and doing the activation weaving with her and Michael of how they went underneath and then how I saw everything in reflection to the Maya people, to the Mayan temple. The shape of it is so perfect because I was given the steps to the temple as we're going to the meditation. And somehow, some way, I'm going to create this vision that I saw. It was divided into like if there's an X, right? And then the X, it steps ladder going up and down on both sides. And then each section of that, there's some kind of a key. So there's the wind element, and then there's the water. So the four elements, but yet it's different. It's a codex that, or codices that we each get to put as um, pieces of puzzles and keys. Each one of us that is weaving right now in this call, and then through JJ's live, and whoever going to Egypt, each one of us get to bring a key, whether in the crystal form or like our light language being activated. There's a new ancient one that I was able to tap into, but I cannot pinpoint at this moment. It was very interesting. And then I was shown this lady, this, oh my God, she is so gorgeous. Like this hair is just flowing like a ray of sun. She dressed in this almost kind of like a Greek, but it's a mix of both Greece and also the priestess of mm, I would say in Egypt. So combining the two. So both energies, she embodies both energy. And then she just has all of this children around her, surrounding her. Very motherly energy, but very soft and very grounding. I can't believe it. It's so beautiful. And then it's just like the drawing of this, like, so she's right there, and then this little drawing of the X, and then the four directions and everything, the codes intermingle to this underground primordial water. If that makes sense, I need someone who can draw this as I'm speaking into some kind of an image that can activate us as a collective, as we're bringing not just the water, but also touching Mama, so above, so below, so within, so without, and along with the angel. There's an angel that was present. It's Metatron was there. Um, of course, Baba G came out earlier. Uh, who has the violet flame?
Talking
Violet
about
flame.
Saint Germain.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, when I think of
So
Violet Flame, I think of Saint Germain personally.
it's just so beautiful. It's so much love, so much. it's the masculine and the feminine being reunited and the children being, so the Trinity, the energy of the Trinity. The flowers code that were given to me were the vibe flowers, all of the wildflowers, flowers that people are not even thinking putting into a bouquet, but they're putting into a bouquet. It's almost like an underdog kind of feeling that is sprouting, they're blossoming. It's like, hey, look at us. We're not this ordinary. We also have magic within us. We can heal you. We can love you just as much as the other flowers that you all know. And there are daisies. There's this little blue flowers that people keep forgetting. Forget me not comes up. Oh my God, not marigold was dead lions came into mind too. And then there's beautiful golden flowers that grown like they just grow all over the place over in Washington. That comes up too. So all of these flowers that I guess we get to remember. Let's not forget all of these things that we think it's not prominent or even related to us. They can bring us something. That's the energy that coming through throughout the meditation. Oh, and may I add a little bit of the light language that was coming through? Ay, wata ya ta oh ya tu ma ti ya ta ya ta na wa ma tu ya ay wa ya ta na wa ya ma ya wa ya ta oi te mea ta ayoa ta wata maya ta aya ta nea ta tu mea ta ku u na. And with that, I am complete. Thank you.
That's powerful. Thank you so much. Very vivid, like detailed explanation. The flowers. So many things were coming in as you were talking. Like the flowers specifically, the frequency of the flowers. To me, it's like very very galactic. The element of fire too. This is a water codex, right? Talking about harmonization. But to me, there is like the flame braid or the fire itself, the fire element. They're kind of like one and the same. It's like the yin yang frequency, the masculine, feminine, as well. A lot of like dragon frequency is coming through too. And even listening to you talk about the flowers, it reminded me like remembering kind of as you connect to your all of these multidimensional lives that we have, these soul aspects, you can really get very detailed remembrances. And for me, I remember all of these different like flowers, these different colors, these different places. I remember like spending time with my friends, like on a call like this, but we're not here on Earth. Like this isn't the first time that we remember, right? As we call in this frequency of remembrance, and our bodies are remembering, right? And we're having that kind of in the now moment. And as you get really, really clear on that channel as time passes, you can really step into that frequency of and understand that it's not hundreds, if it's like thousands of lives of remembrance, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be very fluid, it can be very easy, it can be very graceful. At times it can be a bit overwhelming, but like once you speak with your counsel and your higher self and you kind of tune that in, I remember just like Aurora was talking about earlier, how like I've seen different people in different councils, or in your dreams maybe you catch a glimpse where it's like, oh, I remember, like, I know half of these people, the other half I don't know, but it's like they're familiar to you. They're as familiar as like your friend that you see every single day. So this very like quantum frequency sitting into that like 0 point, and you can really from that stillness, from that place of like call in that remembrance and call in that 0 point and alchemize and transmute and sit in that like harmonization in the now moment, and then from this now moment fully harmonized or as harmonized as possible, go out and call in your manifestation, call in our soul friends, call in our soul family, call in the most aligned, divine, abundant life possible. And not just like in words, but like we're actually doing it. We're actually embodying that frequency and then kind of showing that to one another, modeling it for one another and be like, hey, I remember this, now you know, and you can go into the 0 point and call that into the now moment and activate that for yourself. And we get to essentially co-activate and co-channel together, and it's so fun. It's so fun. So thank you.
If it's okay, I wanted to share something about what you just said about because I was in the forest this morning and I was walking while listening to the last call that you've made last week, and it was about all those multidimensional soul aspect or quantum aspects, and I was asking my higher self, well, how many of them can that be? And they showed me all the leaves that were like in the forest, and I was like, no way. And they say, well, why not? And there's no limit to everything that we can be, and everything that we have experienced. I'm like, no, this not cannot be. And they still were showing me all those leaves on the ground, limitless. And I said, how can we just, integrate or tap into some of, and and my it says that whatever is aligned with you, you can draw whatever you want, and everything that it's going to be aligned with you is what it's going to be in your field. And this is where you can tap in, and how limitless that was. And that was at first overwhelming, but it was just beautiful. And I was just like, wow, my inner child was just, yay, let's play in those leaves. So yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that remembrance frequency you brought through. And also, like, I love that we can, like, we're so multidimensional, we're so spiritual, but then you tell somebody, hey, how can you integrate thousands of lives? Thousands of lives. And you're like, well, it's limitless. Well, I like to try and give people, like, some, and I agree, it's to your imagination, and we remember together and we activate together. But that's why I try and give you some like tools that you can use that are practical, some like aligned action steps, whether it's like a water codex, whether it's like integrating using water, whether it's like, whatever it is, sitting in nature. You can, like for me, water, like I said earlier, water has been so grounding, and it's very overwhelming at first. When I first channeled it and I consented to my frequency of remembrance, I thought, oh, it was probably just going to be a couple. Well, like 3 months later, it's like thousands of lives. And it was very overwhelming, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, I was talking to some of my friends, and like, hey, I did this. I'm starting to remember. It's like literally turning into hundreds of lives, and it's just like pouring through my body, and I don't know what to do with the way that my body feels. And I had to kind of like channel it and figure it out with my friends. So now when we talk about quantum restoration, when we talk about like the actual frequency of quantum harmonization and using the water codexes, that's what I used for Egypt. It was the most intense integration of my entire life, and water really held me. Water really nurtured me. Water really took me into like a safe space, and like I got some relief finally, because it was just overwhelming. Even with all the modalities that I know and all, like I'm so spiritual and connected, I was still like just really getting absolutely crushed by what was happening in my body, my mental body, and my emotional body. And then finally I was able to channel some stuff, and I had friends who helped me out, so I can offer some of those tools to you guys and people. I think it's great. Like, I love, but nobody really wants to depend on somebody. It's nice if we have the ability to kind of like channel and remember ourselves and like show up for ourselves. Like, I think that's great, but also knowing that you don't have to do it alone. Like I sent you an email. We don't come into this world alone. You're not alone anymore. The wolf pack is activated. The tribe is activated. Yeah. So thank you. I love that. I feel like Natalia has something. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, so right there. Look, look at this. This when you said we're not alone, this card comes up under reading. We get to rely on each other. And if you look at the other pictures for the cards that I pull, there's beehive. It's like connect like all of the honeycombs. It's in there. So I don't know. We didn't. This was pulled before the meditation. So somehow, some way, it connects. It's all connected. So no lone wolf.
I love it. We have Natalia to the power of two. Oftentimes I watch JJ's replays, and when she says Natalia, I was like, oh, I wasn't there, but then I realized it's not. For me, it's just so, I love that. It's like multiplication. I wanted to share, Genevieve, I had the exact similar experience today. I went to the forest, to the conservation area, the same experience. Leaves everywhere, the connection to the leaves, to the trees, just started communicating, exchanging information. And I had this interesting experience while I was standing beside one tree. This soul came out of nowhere. So it was like empty, nobody goes there on Mondays. And then she just came up to me and says, is it okay if I stay beside the same tree with you? And I'm like, absolutely. So she kind of like hugged it and was beside it from one side, and I was from the other. And I felt that almost like balance, that harmony, that exchange of frequency. And I have no idea how she appeared, where she went after, but it felt so powerful. And in that moment, she was sharing about the leaves. She was sharing how she loves during that season in Canada where it's just beautiful changing of colors. And she's like, I love when the leaves just fall and then you connect to the leaves. And right when she said it, this beautiful maple leaf literally landed on her like a confirmation that yes, we're exchanging that frequency. And for the sharing that Brother Glenn just shared, I visualize actually what I did before in Egypt. I brought chalice well water with me, and throughout the whole journey, I forgot about it. Like it was in a little little um, thermos, and then at the exact moment when I was connecting to the Nile, it almost like asked me, like, didn't you bring anything for me? Like maybe a feather, a flower. I'm like, yes, I brought you chalice well water. And I did this like ritual exchange again of information, kind of like of memory that we have experienced with Sharon and with JJ and with the other beautiful souls. And it almost like connecting, merging that memory in that record keeping experience, and it was just such a beautiful experience too. So the water is always asking for that, not offering but kind of like exchange what you're sending. And for me also, I'm really like everything integrating through the water, like in a shower, in a bath, wherever I go, just communicating directly and feeling that receiving information, exchanging, connecting to that consciousness. So definitely resonates. Thank you.
I would like to share something.
Yes,
So
please do.
Natalia said, water is consciousness. So when I go to different places, so sometimes we need to purify. So before, so our role is to transform humanity's consciousness. So right now we first need to purify humanity's consciousness. So why go to places? Sometimes it will just start raining really heavily to just purify humanity's consciousness. And also when we are co-creating with different people, different composition, different thought pattern, we will create a different pattern, and then we release to the humanity's consciousness through the water somehow. And then while the fire is the transformation, and through the fire we can transform humanity's consciousness. That's my share.
Thank you so much, Aurora. I had a vision when you were sharing, I know, Arcturians, because I had this a while, maybe a year ago, a vision of the water pots, that the souls were submerged to purify previous experiences and kind of like going through that structure where it releases the roles, anything experienced, understanding it's a dream frequency and going to that, oh yes, it was all a dream, like not having that kind of like imprint that, oh my gosh, this happened, so much happened, and then you release it and go through into the new experience with like a clear mind, clear state, purity. And then again, you play different roles, you create this human experience. And it's almost right now we're coming at that point of consciousness when we see our soul family. It's like, tag, you're it. I remember you, a dragon. I remember you, and beautiful soul. And it's just a connection that we're almost don't need to go anymore through that purifying process where we have to like go through other reincarnation. It can happen right now at this moment where we just by recognizing each other's pure essence, we activate that essence within and purify any roles that don't align with us. And it's a beautiful word, alignment, that you use, sister, too, that it was just so powerful right now to recognize what's in alignment from our soul path, where we're going together in unity. And if, like Brother Glenn said, if one of us feels misaligned or maybe the frequency is collapsing for whatever reasons, we are here together to raise that frequency up, to kind of like, nope, you're coming with us. We're not leaving anyone behind. We're just taking like hand by hand, shoulder by shoulder, and just moving in that stream of consciousness together. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Sister Aurora and Sister Natalia. Very powerful too. And I was thinking about, weaving with like the collective and weaving, within the frequency of like unity consciousness. And there is a lot of like I guess polarity in the world right now, and it can feel very like dense and divisive. So I think that's why it's really important that we're all having like these spaces, like these calls in our community, that we can hop on together and kind of collaborate, co-weave and attune with one another, so that we have these spaces that we can keep our frequency high, but also remembering that we are the collective. And what you said there, the frequency of like purity has been like a theme. I was thinking about the galactic children earlier whenever we were playing with them. When you think about like purity, innocence, joy, they came through as well. And I wasn't planning on sharing this, but as you said something, it reminded me of a vision, like a channeling session that I had a while ago. This was before Egypt, and I was in that frequency of remembrance. And I essentially made it all the way back up to my monad. So I went all the way back. So not just like from higher self, highest self, avatar, oversoul, collective, all the way back up to my monad. So I went all the way up. And when I went all the way up, I came out of a water droplet, my personal incarnation. I came out of a water droplet, and my monad was there, which is me. I'm talking to myself, right? This is me as my monad. And I'm looking around, and the souls, so my incarnations, my multidimensional soul aspects, were all water droplets. And imagine it's like hundreds of thousands of them. I'm just viewing a room full of, like, it was like a futuristic room full of water droplets. And I came out of one water droplet, and I'm talking to my monad, which is me, and it's me talking to myself. And essentially what I got was, it was a very short conversation because most of it was telepathic, but the few words that were said was essentially like, did you see what you needed to see? And I looked around and I understood what that was. Like, these incarnations are me and I am those incarnations. I was like, yes, I understand now. And then essentially, like, it was a very short telepathic conversation. I understand now. And then I went back into my water droplet and then went back down into this incarnation. But the reason I share this, and I've shared it only with one other person, and she knows who she is. I've only shared this with one other person. But having that remembrance, having that capital K knowing, brings me to a state of like pure, like 0 point peace, pure like unity consciousness, knowing that it is possible, like all of these words and feelings, knowing that everything that we're doing is very important and that we're all weaving together and that it's completely possible, but like having that remembrance and seeing it and knowing it and then being able to share it with others. And it was interesting because it was a water droplet. I guess it just goes with the Water Codex that we're talking about today. But yeah, the frequency of like unity consciousness, the being able to sit in that stillness or 0 point, or even if you can't, if you're listening and you're like, I don't know what 0 point means, or I don't know what quantum means, that's okay. That's why we have community. That's why you can get connected with others. That's why we're here to support one another and weave together and grid together. And if that is you and you're listening to the playback, please reach out and leave us a comment, or please hop on with us. And even if you're not in JJ's community too, and you're happy to be weaving with us, we are more than happy to call you into community with us and remember together. So thank you so much.
Brother, what you just shared is so important. I almost had like goosebumps experience. Just want to quickly share with you that I shared before briefly too, not with many souls. In my out of body experience, when I had it, you literally turn into a puddle of water. Like your soul, when it not just astral travel literally steps out of the body, it's almost that frequency. You still can hold the memory of the form of your human body, but you are creating that crystallization and becoming that frequency of water, which is coming through that water consciousness. And when the bodies when we leave this form, we literally, like the soul is vaporizing out and creating that crystallization and water frequency that emerges through us, through that memory. And yes, so that's something about it. If you go deeper into that memory, I feel like so many different activations will start to appear. And I feel like you can almost write a book about it because it's so powerful, like a droplet of water holds so much, holds everything in just this little droplet. So thank you for sharing that, because that was super activating and powerful.
Yeah, thank you for the confirmation. I really appreciate that. I love that so much. The thought of like, and I think we talked about it in the meditation too, like one little droplet returning to like the greater, you know. And if you imagine just like the grains of sand on a beach or a droplet of water in like the oceans, you know, this current incarnation is essentially one little water droplet from what I was shown, right? And that's figuratively. It's a frequency. So I'm shown a frequency, but I'm describing it to you in English words as a visual representation. But what I experienced in that remembrance is a frequency. So yeah, very, very powerful. And then I know we're talking about water, but also like deeply connected. I'm a double water, but deeply connected to the frequency of fire too. Fire to me, it's like the yin yang, the lunar and the solar, the masculine and the feminine. We talk about perfect thirds and the divine child, or masculine, feminine, and the neutral observer. Aurora says she's the fire and water. This was our call before the meditation. Thank you for sharing, Christina. Everybody that shared. Before we close out, we got 2 minutes. I'm going to share real quick, just for the purposes of, let's see if it's going to, yeah, it's going to work. Okay. And then we can, and if you need to go, that's okay, but I just want to share this just for our replay so that everybody can kind of see these amazing codes. This is the 3i atlas that she shared with us. Let me move this down so I can spin it. Sharon, there's so many different things here. So intricate, so detailed. This is the cards from earlier. Thank you for sharing those. And I'll put these on the Telegram so we can kind of channel into them. And feel free to share like what messages you had as well. I don't want to, I really value all of the shares that you guys have and that you leave with us. So I don't want you to think that we don't value that, because we absolutely do, and it's so activating to receive these codes from you. I just want to let you know, like, I value your time, your effort, your energy, and your frequency, and I want that to be acknowledged. And I know other people do. They share in the Telegram how activating it is as well. This is interesting. See how it looks like that. Oh. The violet flame, she said. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, let me download this one. I'll share it just for the replay also. But yeah, I value every single person here on this call. Super, super grateful for all of the things that you bring to the table, your frequency. I'm really happy to, let me share this one. Here we go. Ooh. That's interesting. I love that one. I mean, I love them all, but that's like, there's like portal. I guess I don't know, my left and right isn't working. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, just for Christina, I'll put all of these into, and Sharon as well. I don't know, Sharon, I don't know if you fell asleep. I don't know what time it is where you're at, but thank you as well, sister. Yeah, I'm super grateful for every single person on this call. Really happy to co-create with you. Looking forward to just an amazing week, and continue to, I'll post the replay sooner than later, so you won't have to wait that long, but looking forward to next week, where we're going to be weaving in the frequency of Kemet in ancient Egypt and the Nile River. So we'll do some channeling into that, and then Sister Rachel, Aurora, Melissa. I'm sure there are others that are in the community as well who will be going. And yeah, just want to say how grateful I am for every single person that is here, who is joining us as well on the replay. Yeah, I keep getting also a ping for in-person spiritual community. Egypt, you'll be in person, but also in our communities as well, like spending time to find other brothers and sisters in the communities where we're at, and weaving with them as well. It feels very, very, November 1 to 13th, you're welcome to join us. Do you still have slots, Natalia? To Mount Sinai. You can hop a flight to Mount Sinai and spend the weekend. But yeah, feel free to unmute and we will see everybody next week and on the replay as well.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
Thank you.
brother. So much
Thank
gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Glenn. Thank you, everyone. Mahalo.
you.
you.
All right,
Eh,
sending you love.
Aloha.
And don't tempt me, Natalia. I might go. I don't know.
So I just realized you're in Quebec. Honestly, I just for
There
some
you
reason I
go.
thought you're in France, and I'm like, you're like next door.
Where
All
are
I'm
right.
in
you?
Seattle, so
Oh,
neighbors.
Yeah, I think we have more people from Canada and Quebec than we do. I think, maybe I'm the only, me and Christina are the two from, everybody else is not from the U.S. Well, no, me, Natalia, and Christina. So we may be outnumbered this time.
Yeah.
All right, Sharon. Yeah, thank you, everybody. And we'll see you in the Telegram. We'll talk soon, okay? Have a great week, okay?
thank you so
Good night,
much. Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
See you.